If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group. Now, I want to talk about our friends at the Fed because they are finally starting to cut interest rates. Wealth advisor Victoria Fernandez, she tells CNBC that the Fed really should take it slow.
We are not in a recession at this point in time. We actually thought we would be by now, but the consumer has held up strong enough in order to sustain the economy. I just don't think they want to get ahead of themselves, cut too much, and then fan the flames of inflation by getting demand stoked higher than where it is. So I think they're going to take their time.
Okay, well, let's break this down here. Falling interest rates mean lower returns for fixed income assets like, CDs, and then you got the guaranteed income products like annuities that we talk about all the time here. So, Derrick, is there still time to take advantage even after all these cuts begin?
Absolutely, Jess. And this is something everybody needs to take advantage of because you're going to start to see those CD rates drop. That's something that banks have already started to do precursors to that, knowing that the Fed was going to lower these rates. So you're starting to see your renewal rates dip into the 3s and low 4s. And the guaranteed income side for annuities is starting to drop a little bit, but there's still a great benefit here. We have seen the highest income payouts on these annuities the last year, 2 years that we've ever seen before. And the amount, I've seen up to 10% guaranteed income on your money. So that's fantastic. That's more than you could ever get in the past. And they've really changed. There's even a lot of income annuities that have inflation adjustments and protections from that because we've kind of learned, we haven't had a lot of inflation in the last 20 years, but here it comes and rears its ugly head. And so these annuity companies, they adapt. And they look, for alternative ways of benefiting clients, and that's one of them, right, Steve?
Absolutely. I think the thing about it is, Derrick, when you talk about that 10% guaranteed income, when you get that locked in, that's guaranteed for the rest of your life and your spouse's life. Depends on your situation, but we have some incredible rates. Looking forward, it's really going to help no matter what happens in the economy.
Well, I was going to bring that up because I know we've talked about it before. When it comes to interest rates, you're hearing it everywhere. We're talking about it. Everywhere's talking about, they're lowering rates, they're cutting rates. Well, even though it's 0.25 of a point, guys, it's slowly but surely going down. You may not really feel it or see it at the grocery store, the gas pump, or what have you, but slowly but surely it's getting there. But as you mentioned here, Derrick, there's still opportunities to take advantage of because interest rates still are considerably high. We've talked about it before. When interest rates are high, you want to refi your retirement. You want to start looking at some opportunities to take advantage of these high interest rates. When interest rates are low, that's, of course, when you want to refi your home. So, Derrick, talk a little bit more for those listening that say, I want to refinance my retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that, low inflationary environments hits retirees really hard. If you're younger and you're buying houses, just like you said, Jess, interest rates are low, people are buying houses, that's great. But if you're in your 60s and 70s, even 50s, and maybe you already have that home, you have that brand new car, you have all this, you want your bank savings accounts, CDs, you want your annuities to grow really well, so they start lowering those rates that really hurt you. So what we look at doing is how can we better your position? How can we take advantage of these rates while we have them? And we look at your entire portfolio and stress test it. If we go into a higher inflation environment, but if we go into a low inflation environment, how does your portfolio handle that? Because your stage in life is completely different than your 30-year-old son's. And how he wants to invest and the things he's going to take advantage of is totally different. And that's, we get it a lot where, people walk in, they're like, hey, you talk to my brother and you put him in XYZ, so I want the exact same thing that he has. And it doesn't work like that. I tell everybody up front, like, hey, everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's portfolio is different. Quite frankly, right? How much money you have is completely different. And we always start from scratch and build these custom portfolios to match your needs. And we can stress test in about 10 different ways and 10 different environments to make sure that you're going to walk away with the added peace of mind that you need in retirement. So, call us today. I'm going to give away 5 custom retirement portfolio analysis where we're going to go through that and look at several things: how to build your income, how to sustain that income, how to sustain your portfolio, your rate of withdrawal that you can take off of your funds and make sure that's sustainable. Also, emergency funds, your long-term care. All of these aspects go into that, and that's something the first 5 callers, we're going to knock these out for people and make sure you have that added peace of mind you need in retirement.
Now, I know there's some folks listening right now, Steve, that say, man, I want to call in and I want to get this retirement portfolio analysis. They're talking about, I want to talk about refinancing my retirement, but it's so overwhelming. How and where do I begin? What are your thoughts on that?
It's just so simple. It all starts with a phone call, or go to retiretexasstyle.com. We're going to take it step by step. First we're going to get to know each other. We're going to find out what's important to you. Again, what is your biggest fear about retirement? It doesn't have to be overwhelming. What we're going to do is partner with you and do the Texas 2-step. We're going to step forward 2 steps, kind of figure out where you are, and then step back and take a look at it and continue to do that till we get a whole plan put together. We have a strategy. And then at the end of the day, you're ready to retire whenever you're ready. That's what's important, is having a plan in place, a written plan.
All right, Derrick, you're up first here. What's the one thing many Americans fear more than death? It could be anything. What do you think it is?
Man, I don't know. For me, it's, leave my kids, if I died, something like that.
Okay, gotcha.
I think death would be it. So I'm not sure.
Some people out there, they say the dentist, or you got the folks out there that public speaking literally will send them into cardiac arrest. They just can't handle it. Steve, what do you think? What's the one thing?
It's the fear of running out of money, but I think that's really wrong. I think it should be the fear of running out of income, because, in retirement, people come in, they beat their chest for how much money they have. But no, it's about making sure you have income like you had when you're working each and every month, in and out. It's so important. And, with this crazy inflation we've been having, it's going to take more of that old income to make it happen.
So when you say money versus income, I want to make sure I understand and I'm interpreting correctly for our listeners here. And you're kind of right here when you talk about the number one fear is, running out of money. Well, the number one fear is retirement, right? And 61% of Americans working right now say they're more afraid of retiring than dying. So is that because, have I saved enough? Have I done enough? Am I going to run out of money? Probably, sure. That's a factor of it. Is it because I don't have a plan in place? Steve, what do you think?
It is 100% fear of the unknown. People haven't done planning. They haven't done anything towards it. I have people come see us and they talk about this incredible trip they're getting ready to take and how they plan for that. But, they don't even spend an hour planning for the final phase of life called retirement. When you sit down and you have the more time you have on your side before you retire, the better plan you can put together. You can dot the I's, you can cross the T's, you can move things around. But, people call us, Jess, and I love it. We love to work with them, but they called and it's Monday morning at about 10. They said, hey, Steve, listen, I've been listening to you for a long time, or I saw you on TV, or my neighbor told me about you, your friend, but you know what? I turned my notice in on Friday, and this coming Friday is my last day. And, I don't know what I'm going to do. Or, they have a huge medical emergency. They can't work any longer. But most of all, during COVID, they lost their job. So having that plan in place is the real deal. Correct, Derrick?
Oh, absolutely. And there's several fears and factors when you break this down to get to that root fear there. And, 3 of these are going to be financial, two psychological, and one of them is the rising cost of long-term care, financial. Poor investment decisions, also financial. Maintaining the standard of living that you have, right? Purely financial issue there. But there's 2 psychological ones too, like feeling disconnected from society, adapting to new routine, lifestyle. When you take away that 40 to 60 hours a week and it's gone, and you replace that with something, that's a big deal. But when we talk about these things, these are really making sure you're confident with what you're doing. And like just the other day I had a client come in as a perfect example here of, hey, we put together a portfolio for him. He loved what he saw, but he didn't like the long-term care solution we came up with. And he goes, I don't think I'll need long-term care. I said, okay, so that may or may not be true. But our long-term care solution encompasses whether or not you use it or not, death benefit, cash growth. We have all those tied into long-term care because we like to make sure that if you don't use it, that you get those things with it as well. But I told him, I said, and John, you cannot afford, you and your wife, to go in the kind of facility that you told me you want to go into. At 80 years old, you will not have, and get this, $468,000. Yeah. For two people in 4 years, which now the average is close to 4 years, and tied into inflation and everything, that's $468,000 is what I told him. I said, your portfolio can't handle that. So let's be smart about it and get a long-term care policy in his case where if it does, you're covered. You're not worried about it. If it doesn't, hey, your kids get death benefit, you get cash if you want to yank it out, whatever you want to do. But that's part of the planning aspect where you can't be stressing. Honestly, Jess, that worries me so bad for American people that is more stressful and that's your biggest worry than death. Because mine's dying. I'm not. Retirement's supposed to be fun. It's to the finish line. That's what I'm working for right now. Yeah. I don't know, Steve. I mean, right? That's what we work for.
Absolutely. You know, Derrick, I have a friend of mine that I kind of have dinner with ever so often, and he is moving his parents to Dallas-Fort Worth area from a ranch outside of Albuquerque, Santa Fe, in that area, rural, and they're coming to Dallas. His dad kind of has dementia on the edge of Alzheimer's, and you know, his mom is elderly too, and she can't take care of him all the time. So they're moving to a facility here where, you know, they're both living there, but during the daytime, he goes to a place kind of for the day and hangs out, and they kind of, you know, work with him and do different things, and just kind of like adult daycare. But that way she can breathe. She just can't do it 24/7. And Derrick, at a modest facility in Dallas, Texas, it's $14,000 a month.
Wow.
My gosh.
I mean, you've got to have pretty deep pockets to do that. I mean, it's huge. I mean, and you know, there were a lot more expensive ones. I mean, you know, you can't put a price on knowing everything's okay.
And yeah, and Steve, that's where it goes to, you know, I learned a long time ago that hope is not a plan. We all hope that we don't go into that kind of facility and that we, you know, my wife always says she hopes we pass away like, what's that movie, The Notebook? You know, where the husband and wife, they go to sleep, together. They both pass away together. But most likely that's not going to happen. And hope is not a plan. Right. So get your ducks in order. Give us a call today. And we're going to sit down with you and make sure that retirement is not your biggest fear. I repeat, retirement should not be your biggest fear. Right. Call us today. Give us the opportunity to better your position and go over the things we just talked about to make sure that, you know, you can spend time with grandkids and enjoying life. And, you know, you can give your boss 2 more years or you can give me 2 hours, guys. So
absolutely. Say that one more time, Mr. Caldwell.
Give your boss 2 more years or you can give me 2 hours. So give us a call today.
You know, just along with the conversation of, hey, one day we might most likely probably will need long-term care. Something else to always think about is my will up to date or is my estate plan up to date? Well, you know, the big famous celebrities are just like us. You know, comedian and former Tonight Show host Jay Leno, he recently updated his will after a court appointed him conservator for his wife Mavis, who suffers from dementia. The plans include leaving a $450 million estate to the family and opening a museum that honors Leno's passion for cars. And he's doing all of this at the age of 74. So what age should retirees consider estate planning?
I'm going to say as soon as possible. Because I'll tell you, I'm in my 40s, and me and my wife have had our estate plan in place for about 10 years. And, you know, some people think, well, that's pretty, you know, early. You know, your odds are you're not going to die. But I don't want to, once again, hope I don't die and my money goes where I want it to and the people that I want to take care of my kids do. It's all black and white. It's exactly how I want it set up. And it was not that difficult. Probably in all, we spent maybe 5 hours, me and my wife, going through all this and getting it all planned out and everything. So it is super important, and you never know. I mean, Steve, how many times have we seen somebody in their 40s that's a client that lost a husband or something? I mean,
it's crazy.
It happens, guys, and you got to make sure that your ducks in a row. I mean, I see everything from no beneficiaries on 401ks all the time. Because you sign up through work, and they don't tell you any of that, and they just make you sign on the dotted line. I'm telling you, probably 60% of 401ks I see don't even have beneficiaries. It's insane.
But you know what's worse is somebody that went to work, let's just say at a business, an oil refinery. I've seen this happen several times. So, when you get out of college or get out of high school, you go to work, and you've worked there 40 some odd years, and you know what? Back then, you didn't have a wife, you didn't have any kids, or you didn't have a husband or any kids. So guess who you put down? Of course, mom. And I mean, I see it all the time. We've had people come to see us. Their mom's still alive. She's in her 90s, and she's the sole beneficiary of all, 80% of their money in the retirement plan, the ESOP, the 401k. I mean, doing a beneficiary review is so important. And I want to tell the listeners today, if you're 59 and a half, you need to call us today and take control of your money. We're not going to just look at your money. We're going to look at a tax strategy, an income strategy, estate planning as we're talking about. We're going to look at all those things that really matter for you and your family.
And I'll tell you, if your advisor that you're working with right now is not talking about these things, you're not getting your money's worth. I'll tell you right now, you're having a disservice here, guys, because everything about our business rolls into each other. Your financial portfolio, how that works, leads into tax planning, which leads into estate planning. All these things factor into your life, and a comprehensive plan is so, so important. So, if we may not have $450 million, right, Jess, like Jay Leno, but even if it's $45,000, do you want the government to get more of it? Do you want everything you worked for to go to, like you said, a mom who has so much trouble even getting that done and getting it transferred over, that maybe bad things happen to your portfolio in the meantime, or whatever the case may be, guys, that is a comprehensive financial planning there. And that is what we do at Whole Financial. And give us a call today. I'm going to do another top 5 callers, whoever the first 5 are that call us right now. We're going to put together a comprehensive financial plan, including tax planning and estate planning, guys.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.